natural health and healing show with one of New England's leading nutritionists, Mark Mincola. The show is brought to you by the Good Health Stores in Hanover and Quincy. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 with your health and nutrition questions. Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. Great to be with you this evening. Where are you at as far as your health these days? Hopefully in great shape. Hopefully everybody's feeling at the top of their game, healthy, wealthy, and all that great stuff. Nitric oxide, not to be confused with the laughing gas and all that stuff. This is a whole different chemical that we're going to talk about this evening. Discovered in the late 80s, around 1987, nitric oxide, or NO as it's often referred to, is a gaseous molecule that after it's produced in the human body lasts but 2 to 3 seconds. 2 to 3 seconds, no more than that. Yet in those very short 2 to 3 seconds, it manages to initiate and sustain the defense, repair, and protection of virtually every cell in the human body. Nitric oxide is produced from amino acids, of course, that occur in our diet. More specifically, the amino acid citrulline produces arginine. Of course, we all know what arginine is. And arginine then produces nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is a vasodilator that helps the body to optimize the flow of blood through the arteries and veins. A lot of folks these days with hypertension, heart disease, arteriosclerosis. You're certainly going to want to listen to this broadcast this evening. Nitric oxide is one of the most important chemicals that our bodies indeed do naturally produce. It increases the flow of blood, as we said a moment ago, and the volume of oxygen in the blood, and is of very special supportive importance to the heart, the brain, the lungs, the neuroendocrine system, the immune system, the reproductive system. And nitric oxide supports recovery from exertion, overexertion, injury, sickness. It also increases overall performance capability. We're talking about a very special molecule in the human body. It's often referred to as the molecule of life. As we said earlier, it's only active in your body for 2 to 3 seconds. Only 2 to 3 seconds, yet in that short time it manages to initiate and sustain defense, repair, and protection of every cell in your body. Nitric oxide, or NO. In 1998, 3 Nobel Prize researchers, Robert Fungott, Farid Muris, and the most noteworthy of all, Dr. Louis Ignarro, who's a best-selling author these days. He's written some remarkable books. And Dr. Ignarro, with these other 2 earlier mentioned Nobel Prize researchers, they all led the way to distinguishing nitric oxide as what is now called the miracle molecule. The miracle molecule. And it is indeed the miracle molecule of our lifetime. Dr. Ignarro, Nobel Prize winner Dr. Louis Ignarro, insists that if nitric oxide were properly understood by the public at large and more widely utilized in the world, that there would be no heart disease. Now let's just stop and think about that just for 1 second here. The leading killer in this world and the leading killer in this country, heart disease. The number 1 killing disease, heart disease, takes the lives of approximately 1 million people a year in this country. 1 million Americans lose their lives to heart disease each and every year. And now we have a Nobel Prize winning doctor, Dr. Louis Ignarro, who made the statement that if nitric oxide were properly understood and more widely utilized in the world, there would be virtually no heart disease. Since the Nobel Prize research we're talking about, more than 70,000 scientific papers have been published testifying to nitric oxide's multitude of medicinal effects, Among nitric oxide's many medicinal properties, it kills bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, cancer cells. It also reduces high blood pressure, supports cardiovascular function, prevents blood clotting, improves fertility, supports brain function, improves digestion, supports wound and fracture healing, helps diabetes, insomnia, immune function, sexual function, pain relief, and it is indeed also an anti-inflammatory. You get a little bit of an idea why nitric oxide is referred to as the molecule of life, and why, since Nobel Prize winner Dr. Louis Ignarro did his research on nitric oxide, he has continued to refer to it as the miracle molecule of our lifetime. Nitric oxide is a remarkable, remarkable discovery. As we said earlier, it was discovered in 1987. It was never fully understood by science. It was estimated to be something that occurred in the world of vegetation, not understood as being something that could be produced in the body of mammals such as you and I, but indeed they did discover in 1987 that we do produce this miracle molecule called nitric oxide. And unfortunately, there's a great deal to learn about how to increase our levels, how to sustain what we already have, how to stop losing it and to better utilize it. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. There are many foods that increase our production of nitric oxide. There are a number of vitamin supplements that you can purchase over the counter. We've got a whole list of things that Good Health Natural Foods actually has to increase your nitric oxide levels. And we're going to talk at great length this evening about nitric oxide, how it reduces blood pressure, supports cardiovascular function, prevents blood clotting, improves fertility, etc., etc. So we're going to talk about a miracle molecule called nitric oxide and how you can get plenty of it. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health, proud sponsor of the Health and Healing Show. These are challenging economic times, and Good Health Natural Foods wants to help. We're a small, family-owned market, and for 31 years, when you've had to tighten your belt, so have we. Good Health offers the very finest organic produce, natural and gluten-free groceries, vitamins, herbs, homeopathics, and beauty products. So make every dollar count. For the holidays, you'll find clean, organic cosmetics, beautiful soy candles, and salt lamps. All our products are available at our everyday low prices. Come by and see us in Quincy Center or Route 53 in Hanover. Visit GoodHealthNaturalFood.com. Good Health, the intelligent choice for everything healthful and economical. Thanks for listening to the Health and Healing Show. See you soon.
Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate. Alrighty, welcome back. Great to be with you this evening. Hope your summer's going along swimmingly, and hope everybody is in great shape and healthy and well. We're talking with you this evening about something that is truly remarkable, nitric oxide, and how to increase the nitric oxide in your body. When you have Nobel Prize winners, remarkable, brilliant agents of science, who are commenting on a substance that is readily available, automatically available to you, produced in your body, and suggesting that enhancing its properties, increasing its numbers in your body through proper nutrition, could literally shut down heart disease. I mean, that is just as powerful a statement as you could ever imagine. But that's pretty much what Dr. Louis Ignarro, 1998 Nobel Prize winner, really states in all of his books and all of his works. You might do some Googling, do some searching of Dr. Louis Ignarro, Ignarro, a brilliant man, a very inspired scientist who's done really the lion's share of research on nitric oxide, and it's quite impressive when you take a peek at the work that he's done and the books that he's written. And as we sort of, I guess, pointed to here in the outset of the broadcast this evening, there's an awful lot of properties attributed to nitric oxide. One of them, of course, we talked about the enhancement of supporting brain function, learning, and memory. There are many researchers now that are doing a great deal of extensive researching on nitric oxide as a learning agent. And many of these researchers are now claiming that it is the basis of learning and memory in the body, nitric oxide. Simply put, that a cell in the brain is responsible for releasing a chemical messenger called glutamate, G-L-U-T-A-M-A-T-E, which stimulates other cells, their receptors, and with this chemical to release nitric oxide in the body. And if it is strongly stimulated, of course, if the nitric oxide is part of that whole chemical chain in the brain, the receptor sends back a nitric oxide molecule to tell the sender to the message was received, and then ask it to send an even stronger message the next time. So this communication process, these molecules literally communicate in the brain. So when someone is trying to remember where they put their car keys, ever have that problem? It seems like everybody's had that problem once in a while, if not once a day. Yeah, there you go. Larry's got his car keys attached to his blue jeans, so he knows exactly where his car keys are. Smart man. But many of us indeed do have those difficulties. On the average day, you get up in the morning, you're a little late for your appointment or for work or school, and you're heading out the door, and lo and behold, you can't find your doggone car keys. That's not an unusual thing. We're always looking for stuff. And, it's considered to be something that you could improve, at least from the perspective of nitric oxide enhancement, because this chemical messaging that takes place in the brain about memory and about learning is fundamentally enhanced and regulated to a very large extent by the amount of nitric oxide communication. The messages are being sent. The receptor cells, or molecules I should say, are receiving this message. Hey, I'm looking for something. Do I remember where it was put? Bang, you've got those molecules firing in the brain and actively recalling and remembering where things were. You can recall that information much more sharply when you do have an ample supply of nitric oxide, which, by the way, many of us are exposed to what are called free radicals. Now, we continue to hear about these free radicals, which, of course, really trigger the genetic potential for disease in our world and in our bodies. And these free radicals really are the ultimate root cause of all the cancers, all the heart disease issues. These free radicals really do a number on your healthy cells. They really break up the party of health and good living. And these free radicals, I refer to them often as vampires, because that's precisely what they do. They vampire healthy cells. And these free radical molecules that you take 30,000, think about this, 30,000 vampire hits at a cellular level every day, from these free radicals. So they're trying to basically steal, or vampire, as it were, a healthy electron from your healthy cells. They're electron drinkers. They're like blood drinkers. They're looking to vampire out these vital electrons from your healthy cells. whereupon they convert these once healthy cells of yours into mutations, into mutated cells. Other vampires that continue the process of vampiring until ultimately disease is fully expressed in your body. So these free radicals are really looking to create havoc and do indeed initiate virtually all disease at the genetic level. So what we're talking about here is how do you preserve and protect your healthy cells? Of course, you know the answer. Antioxidants. Antioxidants. Because antioxidants will both donate healthy electrons to these vampires and get them off of your healthy cells, preserving and protecting and mediating for your healthy cells, and slowing down the aging process, and lowering the disease risk factors. Okay, so antioxidants, you have vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium, zinc, virtually all your antioxidants. But it's really important to understand that nitric oxide is vital in this process. You're losing a lot of these protective capacities, a lot of these healthy, vibrant, protective capacities in the body to these horrible vampires that we call free radicals. So it's really important to understand that is remarkable, as nitric oxide is, that you don't get the full impact of your nitric oxide unless you're supporting it nutritionally, because you're taking a lot of hits. You have a tremendous need for protection, as we said, 30,000 hits a day. So for those folks who say, I only like to eat healthy once in a while, I'd rather just kind of eat fun, tasty stuff. Hey, listen, if you're taking 30,000 hits a day, it's like Russian roulette. You got to protect yourself with antioxidant-rich nutrition. Then, when you've got this miracle molecule increasing in its numbers in your body and enhancing your prospect for health, like we said, and enhancing your process for learning and for memory. And don't miss what I'm saying here, too. Get this message loud and clear. When you find yourself habitually looking for your keys, when you find yourself habitually losing stuff, when you find yourself constantly not able to locate these day-to-day items in your life, you know that these free radicals are starting to get the lead on you. They're starting to win the battle. It's a bad sign. Well, one of the things that nitric oxide does, as we pointed out a minute ago, is increase what is called a cycle of long-term potentization, which is a fascinating and remarkable process that creates memory and learning. It's a remarkable process. And again, many researchers are beginning to think right now that nitric oxide is, as wonderful as this miracle molecule is in all the various ways that science has discovered, is not just a real heart protector, not just an immune protector, and not just a neurodegenerative protector, but it's also a brain protector, a memory and learning enhancer, a substance that is truly, as it is often referred to as, the miracle molecule. And there are many different ways, as we pointed out, that you can increase the nitric oxide in your body to support your brain, your heart, your immune system, your reproductive system, etc., to increase the oxygen flow in your body, to increase the blood flow in your body. When you think about arteriosclerosis or atherosclerosis, when you think about the leading cause of death from heart disease, really we're looking at the narrowing of the blood vessels. When you think about the narrowing of the blood vessels, you're talking about a high risk for stroke and heart attack. And again, nearly 1 million people a year are dying from that problem. So it's really essential that you think of nitric oxide as something that works against that process of narrowing the blood vessels, the arteries. It is a vasodilator, which means that it expands the blood flow capacity. So for those folks out there who do have hypertension, you know darn well you are deficient in nitric oxide. As we said just a moment ago, for those folks who don't seem to have the ability to remember where they put stuff, you know darn well you're deficient in nitric oxide. For those folks out there who have narrowing of arteries, narrowing of blood vessels, folks who've been eating a lot of saturated fats and a lot of sugars, which of course convert to fats that dump into the arteries, a lot of folks who have very acidic chemistries, a lot of stress, they don't sleep well, they're literally ravaged by the stress of life. Those folks are producing a very strong acidity that forces the body to withdraw calcium from bone banks to enhance the process, to expedite the process of osteoporosis. And as I say, osteoporosis happens generally simultaneously with arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis. So a lot of that calcium that you pull out of your bones ends up plaquing in your arteries. Your poor bones get thinner, your poor blood vessels get thicker. That's exactly what we want to think when we think about nitric oxide as a solution. We want to think that if we want to reverse these processes of early, untimely, degenerative, and inflammatory disease and death, we want to think about enhancing the process of oxygenation. And as we said earlier, nitric oxide is a gaseous molecule that it's only in the body about 2 to 3 seconds, but in that short span of 2 to 3 seconds, it manages to initiate and sustain the defense, repair, and protection of virtually every cell in the human body. Many folks out there are unfortunately unaware of the remarkable properties available to them out there. Many folks are eating and drinking things on an ongoing basis that leave them in a high liability perspective, that one day they go off to the physician's office, their family doctor's office, and they're being put on all kinds of medications. And then the medications, of course, have a number of different side effects, so you're put on another round of medications to offset the side effect of the first round of medications. And before you're 50 years old, you are really strapped with all kinds of side effects, problems, and many of those side effects and symptoms, just remarkable how many of those symptoms come from medications and not just from disease. It's astounding. Every day I have a parade of people. Every day. I see so many people every day that come to me, and it's virtually impossible for them to decipher in their punch list of complaints, problems, and symptoms and side effects just how many of these issues that they're contending with, whether it's the insomnia, whether it's the impotence, whether it's the inability to think clearly, cognitive recall, etc. It's so difficult for them to understand the muscles, aches and pains. It's difficult for them to decipher whether these symptoms are coming from natural disease or in fact from medication. They're all confused. And they're all suffering from so many different complaints. And when folks say, hey, we've got a great system right now because the average life expectancy is 73.6. I say, you know what? It's not so great because for the last 23 years of life, everybody's being supported by artificial medications that are causing, dozens and dozens of side effects, from which we have to basically find other medications to try to see if we can't help them cope with the first round of side effects. That's living. So that by the time you're 50, you're already on 6 medications and don't know which ones are causing half your symptoms. You can call that living. I don't. The big point here is there are so many remarkable natural properties out there. The earth is filled with medicines. There are medicines virtually everywhere in your body. There are medicines everywhere on your planet. And it's a question of learning a little bit more of just exactly how to enhance their properties, how to get at them, how to increase the efficiency with which you utilize them. And this is exactly one of those miracle molecules. That's exactly what nitric oxide is. And once again, Dr. Louis Ignarro is the one that dubbed nitric oxide as the miracle molecule. Far be it from me to try to come up with a better term than a Nobel Prize winner. And again, among its many medicinal properties, we're talking about a substance that kills bacteria, kills fungi, parasites, viruses, cancer cells, reduces blood pressure, supports cardiovascular function, prevents blood clotting, improves fertility, supports brain function, memory, learning, improves digestion, supports wound and fracture healing, helps diabetic patients, insomnia, immune function, sexual function, pain relief, and it's an anti-inflammatory. That might give you some idea as to why it's referred to as the miracle molecule. And principally, of course, the very first thing we learned about nitric oxide back in the 80s is that it really enhances the flow of blood and the volume of oxygen in the body, which is especially supportive to the heart, the brain, the lungs, the neuroendocrine, immune, and reproductive systems. It enhances the flow of blood and the volume of oxygen in the body. And as we said also, it manages in that very short window of time, but 2 to 3 seconds that it's available in the body, it still manages to initiate and sustain the defense, repair, protection of virtually every cell in your body. The good news here about nitric oxide is you're not talking about something that's difficult to obtain. You already produce it, as we've said. You produce it as a result of amino acid conversions, and it's produced more specifically, as we said, from the conversion of an amino acid called citrulline, which produces arginine, and then arginine produces nitric oxide. So the question right away would come up, if I take arginine, will I increase my nitric oxide? If I take the amino acid citrulline, will it increase the efficiency with which I produce and circulate nitric oxide? Other questions. Are there foods? Does exercise increase it? Are there fruits and vegetables? Are there specific fruits and vegetables that are higher in nitric oxide than others? Are there other supplements besides the amino acids that we've mentioned, the arginine and the citrulline? How difficult is it for me to enhance the presence of the miracle molecule in my body? Can it actually help me to fight viruses, like you said, in a real, functional, day-to-day manner? In other words, we keep hearing of late that there's a real scare about the impending doom regarding the swine flu, the return of the swine flu. Of course, kids are due back in school very soon, and the concerns are that once colds and flus start circulating, look out. Katie, bar the door. And that is very likely. I agree that that's probably the scenario that's going to take place. So one of the questions, of course, is what can we do about it from within the context of natural medicine? Are there antivirals that we can engage in, or that we can take, that we can support our immune systems with? Are there ways that we can build up our antiviral immunity? That's precisely what it's all about. And nitric oxide certainly has that capacity, because it's an antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, antiviral, and an anti-cancer cell agent. So there are many different foods, vegetables. There are specific supplements, specific over-the-counter food supplements, and there are a number of different ways to strategically increase your nitric oxide. When we come back from this break, That's what we're going to talk about. Stay right with us.
This is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to have continued our relationship with Mark Nicola in the Health and Healing Show, and we're happy to announce a new product from Jarrow Formulas called Jarrow Cell. We all know that as the body ages, it heals less rapidly and becomes frailer. Often the body is unable to process enough nutrients to repair weakening cartilage and protein fibers. A very important element in building and repairing your body is silicone. But unfortunately, as we grow, you may have difficulty absorbing adequate silicone from your diet. But now, thanks to a product called Jarrow Cell, you can be sure to get your share. Jarrow Cell can give you the silicone you need to support your bone health, bone mineral density, and in addition, Jarrow Cell strengthens and beautifies your hair, skin, and nails. Jarrow Cell is available now in a synergistic liquid formula that also includes boron and zinc. Ask for Jarrow Cell at your local health food stores. Or for more information, you can go to the Jarrow website, which is www.jarrow.com.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. This year, let us help you save money. Make every dollar count. Come by our stores in Quincy Center and Route 53 in Hanover. We've got everything you need year-round. Organic produce, natural groceries, vitamins, and health and beauty items for everyone on your list. Visit us at goodhealthnaturalfood.com for monthly specials and new cutting-edge products. Thanks for listening.
Alrighty, welcome back. Of course, anybody that's ever listened to this broadcast over the 7 years or so that we've been on knows that without Good Health Natural Foods, this wonderful forum would not be taking place. So we always salute them at the bottom of the hour here. And again, tonight is no exception. Good Health Natural Foods, of course, located in two different convenient locations. Down at 219 Columbia Road, that's just Route 53, my way, down in Hanover. And you can check them out at 781-826-0808. Say hi to Nick Mincola when you're down there. Or you can hook up with Good Health Natural Foods in downtown Quincy Square. And they're at 1627 Hancock Street, 617-773-4925. And, you know, everything we're talking about tonight, of course, and everything we talk about each and every Sunday night here on the Natural Health and Healing Show certainly rolls over in reference to Good Health Natural Foods. And a couple things we're going to mention, actually, right now. We're going to kind of jump the gun here just a little bit. One thing I want to talk to you about in context with Good Health Natural Foods and the topic of tonight's program, the miracle molecule, nitric oxide, of course. A lot of folks know about noni juice. Noni juice is loaded with nitric oxide. And the non-diluted noni juice, according to research, very recent research, listen closely, the non-diluted noni juice is 58 times more rich in nitric oxide than the diluted. Now, about 80 to 85% of the noni juices in the marketplace are diluted. They're diluted. I'm going to give you two brands that are available at Good Health Natural Foods that are very rich, that are non-diluted, and they're very rich in the nitric oxide. The Tahitian Trader, T-A-H-I-T-I-A-N, Tahitian, like Tahiti, Tahitian Trader, 32 ounces for $28.89, and that's organic noni juice. Again, Tahitian Trader. Now, someone would say, $28 for 32 ounces. Well, you're only drinking an ounce a day, folks. All right? So that should last you a good month because you're going to get all the nitric oxide you'd ever need in an ounce of Tahitian Trader organic noni juice. 32-ounce bottles of Good Health Natural Foods. Again, Tahitian Trader noni juice. They also have Genesis 100. The Genesis 100 is a very good juice as well. That's $36.99 for 32 ounces. But either one of those are what I'd recommend. They're the two best noni juices down at Good Health Natural Foods. Also, other ways to increase your nitric oxide. Jarrow Formulas. Our good friends at Jarrow Formulas. They make a Gamma E300, Gamma E vitamin E. It's a gamma E300, which inhibits the nitric oxide radical effect. So in other words, we talked earlier about how the free radicals, those vampire cells that wreak havoc in your body, they're looking to lower your nitric oxide. They antagonize your nitric oxide, which is one of the reasons why disease sets in, because nitric oxide is essential to sustain proper levels of oxygenation, balanced pH, yada yada. So Jarrow Formulas makes a gamma E300, which is a great free radical scavenger. Jarrow gamma E300, just one a day, to inhibit the nitric oxide free radical scavenging. So in other words, the idea that the nitric oxides are looking to help you and the free radicals are looking to break down your nitric oxide, well, the vitamin E will help prevent that process from happening. So it'll preserve your nitric oxide. Protect and preserve. Also, we talked about the amino acids. Certainly, Good Health Natural Foods has plenty of L-arginine, A-R-G-I-N-I-N-E. And again, for folks who do not have any kind of histories with retroviruses, I'd recommend 1,000 milligrams. Now again, by that I mean if anybody has any histories with herpetic viruses, cytomegaloviruses, Epstein-Barr viruses, etc., you really want to avoid arginine because those viruses will find a way to feed off of arginine. So there's other ways we can do this thing here. Okay? If you do not have a history of these retroviruses, then I recommend you take 1,000 milligrams of L-arginine a day. Good Health Natural Foods, loaded with L-arginine options. And they also have citrulline, C-I-T-R-U-L-L-I-N-E, citrulline. Citrulline is the first amino acid that then converts into L-arginine that becomes the nitric oxide. So citrulline, many researchers say that the best way to really build up your molecular levels of nitric oxide is with citrulline. Well, they have NOW brand, N-O-W brand citrulline, 750 milligrams. For 90 caps, it's only $22.50. For 180 caps, it's $39.99. That's NOW brand, and that's, of course, at Good Health Natural Foods. 750 milligrams of citrulline. If you're going to try to build up your nitric oxide levels, I'd take 2 a day. And for $22.50, that'll last you 45 days. Not bad. All right, so let's recap that one more time. Tahitian Trader organic noni juice, 32 ounces, $28.89, just an ounce a day. Or Genesis 100, which is $36.99 for 32 ounces. Either one's fine. And the Jarrow Formulas Gamma E300, because vitamin E will inhibit those dastardly radicals that are trying to antagonize your nitric oxide levels. So they'll preserve and protect your ability to build up the stuff. All right? And also L-arginine, provided you do not have a history of retroviruses, like we said. And NOW brand citrulline, C-I-T-R-U-L-L-I-N-E. NOW brand citrulline, 750 milligrams, 90 caps, $22.50, and 180 caps, $39.99. All that is available, of course, at Good Health Natural Foods. And, I think the noni juice is really, really a great way to produce the nitric oxide. And as we said earlier, lower the blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. The idea is to get the non-diluted, as we said earlier, because the noni juices that are not diluted are 58 times more rich in nitric oxide than the diluted juices. So, anyway. And people often ask me about the noni juice. What is the big deal about noni juice? Because everybody keeps hearing about it. Well, it really is all about the nitric oxide. And that's the bottom line. All right. We also mentioned that there were a number of foods that you should know about regarding nitric oxide. Absolutely important to know that your dark red and purple vegetables, your dark green leafy vegetables, and your fruits are very rich in nitric oxide. So many of those carotenoids. Now, by carotenoids, I mean those rich colors that we just talked about. It's literally the dye in your vegetables. But specifically, we're talking about, spinach, kale, parsley. We're talking about the dark romaine lettuces, dark green leafy vegetables, celery. We're talking about the same thing with regards to your orange foods, like your orange peppers, carrots. But again, any of these rich carotenoid type vegetables, including your tomatoes, etc., these are all very rich as well and will help your body to increase receptivity to the miracle molecule, nitric oxide. And the other thing you want to think about here is that exercise. There's an interesting piece that I brought in here to show you all, to read for you all rather. Let's see here. Exercise regularly to protect your heart. A 2003 Duke University study showed that exertion increased the production of nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme responsible for maintaining nitric oxide blood levels. This natural increase in nitric oxide levels can protect the artery lining and lower the risk for heart disease. And if you really want to look at more about the study, the 2003 Duke study, you can go to Psychology Today magazine, and you can reference your way into that 2003 Duke study, nitric oxide synthase related to exercise. So the idea of, again, behaviors. If you're sedentary, not going to get it done. If you're sedentary and if you're not eating wholesome foods, your nitric oxide levels are low, and that's not the direction you want to go in. Also, regarding foods here, there's a number of proteins that are, of course, rich in arginine. Fish, beans, soy products, very lean cuts of meat in your diet. These are foods that contain L-arginine, an amino acid that enters the blood vessel lining and ultimately helps you to produce nitric oxide. And again, Stanford University physician John P. Cook has done a lot of this research regarding arginine, nitric oxide, and heart disease, the linings of the arteries, etc. So you can increase your nitric oxide levels by exercising, by increasing your consumption of fish and beans and soy products, and as we said earlier, those carotenoid-rich fruits and vegetables. Now, we've found, over the 7 years, we've probably found about 1,000 reasons, easily, 1,000 reasons why you should all be eating your darkly colored and richly colored fruits and vegetables. The carotenoid effect, of course, we've talked about at great length. Now we're talking about something entirely different and equally important. Nitric oxide, the miracle molecule, and a great way to get your fill, and you can't get enough. Exercise, fish, beans, soy products, a lot of colored veggies and fruits as well. Really important. All right, let's see here. As we said earlier in the outside of the broadcast, there have been a number of different interesting scientific papers that have been published testifying to nitric oxide's multitude of medicinal effects. 70,000 scientific papers published on nitric oxide. So, again, if anybody, I always encourage folks in my listening audience to do your research here, to take this information and to expand your knowledge with it. Part of what we do is we educate and inform. The other thing we do is we inspire you, hopefully, to enhance your own processes, doing some Googling, some searching, picking up this information and running to that next level with it. And that's exactly what we hope you do. But my point here is that you'll have no trouble whatsoever doing that. There are many papers published on nitric oxide, and really important to understand and appreciate its value. Also, there's a number of different little pieces published by Dr. Abbas Qutab, and that's Abbasqutab. And he's published some interesting stuff on nitric oxide. Has a booklet entitled Nitric Oxide, the Molecule of Life, Noni and the Nitric Oxide Link, Dr. Abbas Qutab. We're going to take a real short little break, sell a few items, pay a few light bills, and we'll be right back. Hi there, this is Mark Minkole, the Natural Health and Healing Show. I know that so many of you out there are passionate about the latest cutting-edge nutritional information, would like to go on to that next level. I'm proud to announce that our new natural health care offices in Cohasset are offering personalized nutritional consultations. At Santi Holistic Healing, you'll experience an informative, individualized nutritional consultation by one of my finest personally trained nutritional experts. Your consultant will test you for specific food allergies and supplements. Together, you'll chart out a personalized, optimal nutritional roadmap that will detail your healthiest foods and nutritional supplements, even specific doses. If that's not enough, we also offer relaxing healing massage at Santi Holistic Healing. Whether it's nutritional consulting or healing massage that you're interested in, we at Santi Holistic Healing are prepared to give you the healing experience of a lifetime. Call us at 781-383-3393. That's 781-383-3393 for the healing experience of a lifetime.
This is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to have continued our relationship with Mark Minkole in the Health and Healing Show, and we're happy to announce a new product from Jarrow Formulas called Jarrow Cell. We all know that as the body ages, it heals less rapidly and becomes frailer. Often the body is unable to process enough nutrients to repair weakening cartilage and protein fibers. A very important element in repairing your body is silicon. But unfortunately, as we grow, you may have difficulty absorbing adequate silicon from your diet. But now, thanks to a product called Jarrow Cell, you can be sure to get your share. Jarrow Cell can give you the silicon you need to support your bone health, bone mineral density, and in addition, Jarrow Cell strengthens and beautifies your hair, skin, and nails. Jarrow Cell is available now in a synergistic liquid formula that also includes boron and zinc. Ask for Jarrow Cell at your local health food stores. Or for more information, you can go to the Jarrow website, which is www.jarrow.com.
All right, you're looking good out there this evening, and we want to keep you that way.
Thank you.
Larry. Larry, you're always looking good, you know that.
You're looking good, too.
Welcome to the Mutual Admiration Society. Great to have you back on board with us here this evening, and we do want to keep you healthy through this entire year, of course. And, you know, many experts are prognosticating or estimating that there may be as many as 90,000 deaths this coming year that succumb to the impending new swine flu strain that's being anticipated. So there's an awful lot of concern. I'm constantly emailed and phoned and asked in my offices about, are there natural alternatives? Are there going to be enough vaccines? Do you recommend vaccination? And on it goes. People are really gravely concerned, as well they should be, because we simply do not have the immunity exposure to these strains. These are virulent strains. We're not really immune system efficient as far as dealing with them. But anyway, I wanted to bring up the point that on the 17th of September, which is a Thursday evening upcoming, it's only about 3 weeks away, I will be at the Red Lion Inn at the Lions Hall in Cohasset, Massachusetts, and I'll be giving a presentation entitled Nutrition for Maximum Immunity. And we're going to be focusing very specifically on the latest scientific cutting-edge strategies for safe, natural, effective antiviral options. So we're going to teach people how to preserve, protect, enhance the highest level of immunity, and specifically how to fight the swine flu, which is, of course, influenza A, the H1N1 virus. And again, there's a very good friend of mine who was a professor for many, many years. He's retired now, but he was at the Michigan State University in East Lansing, Michigan. He's a very special man, John Kabara, Dr. John Kabara. In the 1980s, back in 1982 actually, was given a grant at the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta to do research regarding natural antivirals. And again, we're going to talk about his research. There's also been research at the National Institute of Health. There's a number of different studies that we're going to talk about regarding what ultimately distills down to safe but effective over-the-counter substances that you can use to kill influenza A. And again, scientifically studied and verified, confirmed as effective. And we're talking about lipid-encoded viruses that you can actually antagonize effectively, safely, with over-the-counter agents that you can purchase from the health food store. Anyway, we're going to talk about that on September 17th. And we're going to talk about virtually every aspect of how to enhance immunity, how to build up the family's immunity with spices, with foods, to talk about some remarkable research that was done regarding the oxygen radical factors, the ORAC factors, that the government has published. And again, how to get the highest, most effective antioxidant type of diet in place so that you can build your immunity at the highest level, fight off these free radicals, fight off these viruses, get it done without side effects. So that's what we're going to do that night. So anybody interested, give a call, 781-383-3393. And again, the tickets are going to be $20 in advance, $25 at the door, and space is limited. Okay? That's September 17th, Nutrition for Maximum Immunity. I'm really looking forward to kicking off my fall lecture series, with this really powerful presentation. And it's again 781-383-3393. It's pretty easy to remember, 383-3393. If you're interested, and again, space is limited, so get on that one right away. We're going to talk extensively about how to maximize your immune system, keep the family healthy through this entire winter, and to turn back the swine flu. Normally influenza kills about 30,000 Americans every year. And there's generally about 200,000 hospitalizations. People are not aware of that. There's normally 250,000 hospitalizations. Well, they're expecting triple the numbers this year. Some experts, anyway, are anticipating triple the numbers. So that means 90,000 deaths in 600,000 hospitalizations. So look out. You're going to want to be ready. And we're going to do everything we can do to help you get ready. So again, join us on the 17th of September at the Red Lion Inn. It'll be a great, great evening. And 781-383-3393 gets you on board. Don't wait till the last minute because, again, space is limited. So I look forward to seeing you that night. All right. One thing I wanted to go over here with regards to nitric oxide. I do have here with me Dr. Abbas Quattab's book, Nitric Oxide, The Molecule of Life. And interesting little piece here. An enormous number of people regularly suffer from pain, dramatically reducing their life quality. 2005 USA Today, ABC News, Stanford University Medical Center poll showed that 19% of American adults, or almost 1 in 5, suffer from chronic pain, and 44% have acute or short-term pain. These are attributed to medical injury or to joint pain, heart disease, or cancer. And he goes on to talk about how pain affects the body. And then he talks extensively about how the number of different folks in a number of different situations were scientifically evaluated with regards to noni juice. And he talked about folks who, over a period of no more than 3 weeks, used proprietary blends of noni extracts, and found that in a period of 2 to 3 weeks, the pain was completely neutralized. And the reason for that, of course, is we're talking about dramatically altering the oxygenation response. And as we pointed out earlier, one of the most important points of all is that nitric oxide is anti-inflammatory. Now, virtually all disease, folks, and virtually all symptoms are inflammatory. Even cancer, we've talked about that before, heart disease. These are all inflammatory conditions, diseases. So when you're talking about something that has as profound an anti-inflammatory property as the miracle molecule, as nitric oxide, you're talking about reversing a lot of potential for pain, inflammation, discomfort, and as we pointed out earlier, a number of different remarkable properties associated with nitric oxide. So I want you to think about getting your nitric oxide levels up, getting your diet in check with regards to a lot of fruits and vegetables we always talk about, the lean proteins, the fish, the beans, the soy products, and again, the supplements we mentioned. We started with Tahitian Trader, organic noni juice, 32 ounces, that's $28, or the Genesis 100. We also mentioned the Jarrow Formulas Gamma E to inhibit the nitric oxide free radical attacks and to preserve and protect your levels. Also, the L-arginine, 1,000 milligrams, if there's no retroviral activity, and the Now brand citrulline, 750 milligrams. I mentioned 2 a day on that one. All right, our hour is flown by per usual, and stay tuned for Dr. Julie Johnson. Of course, she'll be up in just a few moments. And folks want to check out our website to watch this broadcast. We podcast it so that you can do that, thanks to Adam Eng. The website is www.maxhealing.com. That's one word, maxhealing.com. And until next Sunday at 8 o'clock, this is Mark Mincola reminding you all, please, be wise, be aware, be well. Make it a healthy week. Good night.
Thank you for joining Mark Mincola for the Natural Health and Healing Show. Call Mark each